fight me on this. But then I heard his keys hit the granite countertop. Heard his footsteps cross the hardwood. Heard the door close with a finality that seemed to echo through my bones. And then I was alone completely. Utterly alone, in the apartment we'd shared for 2 years. Surrounded by the romantic dinner I'd prepared for a man who'd been planning to give another woman jewelry on our anniversary. The candles were still flickering, casting dancing shadows on the walls, and I wanted to blow them all out and sit in the darkness instead. I poured myself a glass of the wine I'd been saving for our celebration and tried to figure out what the hell I was supposed to do with the rest of my life. That's when the doorbell rang again. Felix stood in my doorway looking genuinely concerned, holding his delivery scanner in one hand and wearing an expression that told me he'd probably heard at least part of the screaming match that had just taken place. "I'm sorry to bother you," he said, his voice gentle and careful, "but I forgot my scanner earlier, and I heard, are you okay?" Looking at him standing there, this beautiful stranger with kind eyes and genuine concern written across his face, something inside me shifted. Here was a man who'd known me for all of 30 minutes, and he was showing more care for my well-being than Camden had shown in months. "Actually," I said, stepping aside to let him in, "I think I'm about to be better than okay." What happened next was the most beautiful, poetic, absolutely perfect revenge I could have never planned in a million years. Felix didn't just help me clean up the mess Camden had left behind. He helped me create something infinitely better. As we sat on my couch talking, I learned that this gorgeous delivery driver was actually a photography student working part-time to pay for his degree. More importantly, he had something Camden had lost years ago: the ability to actually listen when someone spoke. While Felix helped me box up Camden's things, I noticed he'd left his laptop on the kitchen counter. His precious laptop with all his work files, including the presentation for his biggest client meeting tomorrow morning. The same meeting he'd been stressing about for weeks, the one that could make or break his promotion. And suddenly the most deliciously wicked idea began forming in my mind. You know what I said to Felix, who was carefully wrapping Camden's picture frames in newspaper. "I think it's time I updated my social media." Felix looked up with those kind brown eyes, and I swear I saw a spark of mischief there. "What kind of update are we talking about?" 2 hours later my Instagram was filled with the most gorgeous photos you've ever seen. Felix, it turned out, wasn't just studying photography. He was brilliant at the pictures he took of me. In that emerald necklace, the one I'd bought myself, were absolutely stunning. We crafted each post carefully, showing off what looked like the most romantic, passionate evening of my life. Me laughing genuinely for the first time in months. Me looking radiant and happy and completely over Camden's bullshit. The timestamps were perfect. Every photo was posted exactly when Camden and I should have been celebrating our anniversary, creating a timeline that would make it look like I'd moved on. Before he'd even made it to his car, my phone started buzzing almost immediately. Friends commenting, asking who the gorgeous mystery man was. My sister demanding details. And then the call started. Camden, frantic and desperate, calling over and over again. I let every single call go to voicemail while Felix and I laughed over wine and actually got to know each other. But the real karma, the beautiful, perfect, absolutely divine karma came the next morning. I woke up to 17 missed calls from Camden and a text thread that read like the ramblings of a madman. Apparently, his big presentation had been a complete disaster. Without his files, his client had walked out. His boss had questioned his professionalism. And to top it all off, Vivian had seen my Instagram posts and figured out she wasn't the only woman in Camden's life. She'd returned the bracelet with a note that simply said, "Find someone who doesn't need to lie to love you." But wait, it gets better. Felix and I decided to return Camden's things via his own delivery service, the one where Felix worked. When Camden opened his door expecting his laptop, he found Felix standing there with a box of his belongings and a note that read, "Some packages come with expiration dates. Ours expired yesterday, don't contact me again." The look on Camden's face, according to Felix, was absolutely priceless. 6 months later, Felix and I are planning our own anniversary celebration real this time. Built on honesty and genuine connection, instead of lies and manipulation. Camden, last I heard. He's single, struggling at work, and probably learned the hard way that karma doesn't just knock, sometimes she delivers. So here's what I want you to remember from my story. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you becomes the best thing that ever happened to you. Sometimes the universe sends you exactly what you need in the form of a delivery driver with kind eyes and a good heart. And sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just living your absolute best life, while the person who wronged you watches their own world fall apart. If you believe that karma always finds a way, smash that like button. If you think the right person will never make you compete for their love, hit subscribe because I've got more stories where the good guys actually win. And remember, you deserve someone who chooses you every single day, not someone who treats you like a backup plan while they shop around for something better. Trust me, the right package always finds its way to the right address.